Hello everyone and welcome to Focus. We're glad to have you with us today. We have what we'll hope will be a very informative program for you today. Just several days ago, Cooper Tire, based out of Findlay, Ohio, announced that it's going to have to, because of the economic situation, close one of its 4 plants. 3 of those plants are located in the South. One is in Georgia, one's in Arkansas, and one here in Tupelo, Mississippi, and the 4th plant is in Findlay, Ohio, which is where the company is based. So you can imagine the reaction to all those communities of that very incredible news. And those communities are rallying around those plants, including the one here in Tupelo, Mississippi. And we have 4 very special guests who are with us here today to talk about that effort and give us a picture, if you will, of this plant that's located here in Tupelo, Mississippi. They're all very similar plants. They all employ roughly about the same number of people, anywhere from about 1,000 to 1,200 employees. So you can imagine the impact that closing one of those plants would have on any of those communities. Our 4 very special guests who are with us today. First of all, we have 2 representatives from Cooper Tire here in Tupelo. First, we have Terry Jarzen. And Mr. Jarzen's been with the plant here in North Mississippi about 25 years. And he is the manager of the Human Resources Department, and he's also been one of the key individuals that's helped run this plant here locally. Next to him is Mr. Ron Roof, and Mr. Roof is the interim plant manager. He's been in this area for about 20 years, so both of these men, of course, are veterans to North Mississippi, as well as being with the company here locally. Next to Mr. Roof is, of course, Mayor Ed Neelly. And Mayor Neelly is going to be talking to us a little bit about some of the efforts that are going on locally to help keep this plant open. And then next to him is David Rambarger. Mr. David, of course, is the president and CEO of the Community Development Foundation. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it so very much. David, let's start with you. Probably nobody that keeps their finger on the pulse of the economy more so than you, and at least you're one of those key individuals that does that. Give us a feel, if you would, of the impact of a plant like this, both of it being open and its productivity, as well as the potential of it being closed.
Well, it is our premier employer in the area for manufacturing. They set the tone for a lot of our other industries, not only in their labor practices, but a lot of their management. And many people around the region look to Cooper Tire as a leader in manufacturing. It has a tremendous impact in our community, both in neighbors and friends and sons and daughters who work there.
Exactly. When we talk about just numbers, 1,000 to 1,200 employees with any one company is a major driving force in the economy.
Absolutely. The studies have shown over $150 million of payroll comes through Cooper Tire and its affiliates within the community. So that's a tremendous impact economically for our region. And over about 48% of the folks don't live in Lee County, or from other counties like Etowah, Chickasaw, Monroe, Pontotoc, and Union, are all around our area.
So again, both from a positive and any potential negative, it has a big impact on just this whole area.
Tremendously.
In North Mississippi. When you heard the news, what went through your mind that one of these 4 plants would be closed?
We're going to make sure we do everything that it's not our plant.
Right.
Everything humanly possible for our community and for the state of Mississippi. And one of the first calls was to the Governor's Office and the Mississippi Development Authority to solicit their input and their support. And they've been great about their support up to this point.
We'll try to come back to that in just a little bit. This is a statewide effort. This
Absolutely.
is going to be an effort that's going to involve the governor of Mississippi, and already has involved the governor, as well as the agency that you mentioned. Mayor, let's talk to you about that same concept. This rallying around this plant is important to you and the city of Tupelo.
Well, certainly it is, Terry. Cooper is one of our premier employers, a great manufacturer, and makes a product that all of us have to have and use every day. And we're deeply appreciative of the fact that they chose to come to Tupelo in 1984, and they've been great corporate citizens. All of us know people who are employed by Cooper, and if you take into account the employees that directly work for Cooper and about 300 that work in the maintenance and keeping it going side of the business, about 1,500 jobs and $150 million payroll is very significant. Absolutely. Not only to Tupelo and Lee County, but the entire region. So we're keenly interested in doing everything that we possibly can to help Cooper make that good decision to stay in TUPELO, Mississippi. I know the state is working as we speak, as is the county and the city, and I will assure Cooper Tire and Rubber that we will do everything humanly possible to make doing business in Tupelo and Lee County the best that it can possibly be.
Right. We'll come back and talk some more about the concept, the fact that North Mississippi, specifically Lee County and Tupelo, is a very diversified industrial area. You know, we don't depend on any one type of business, and so that's very positive. Plus, for that reason and maybe some other reasons, you know, North Mississippi really has not been hit as hard with the current economic situation as maybe some other communities have. So we'll try to picture all of that in, if you will, in some of the things. Let's start with you, Mr. Roof, and talk about Cooper Tire in general just a little bit. And the first question is, if you'd give us a little bit of background just on the tire industry itself at this time, and how it and maybe some other economic factors have contributed to this expected plant shutdown.
Well, the tire industry is really divided into two major markets. There's the original equipment market that provides and supplies tires to automotive manufacturers, the new car market, and then there is the replacement market in which Cooper Tire competes. Currently in the original equipment market, we're seeing that new automotive sales are down 15% from last year, year to year. In addition to that, every month so far this year versus the prior year, miles driven are also going down. And you couple those two with the fact that the current economic conditions are less than desirable, we're really seeing in our industry kind of a perfect storm, or an imperfect storm maybe is more appropriate. With new automotive sales going down, we're currently seeing those tires typically supplied to that market are beginning to flood into the replacement market.
Okay.
Which means not only are we competing against our old competitors, we have some new competitors that are also in the market. Obviously, with miles being driven going down, our old market is sort of shrinking short term here.
And I would kind of assume that the higher gas prices played a part in that lower mileage?
Yeah, for sure that has played a significant role in the number of miles being driven. And we're not sure at this point, with fuel prices declining, how much that really will return long term.
Right.
Now, we're also seeing, unfortunately, with economic conditions being uncertain, that our customers are coming in and rather than buying 4 sets for their vehicle, 4 tires, a full set, they're perhaps buying 1 or 2 tires just to get by.
Right.
And that is also having a negative impact on our sales.
Right. So a combination of all of that. And tires, is that an oil-based product?
Yeah, there's a significant portion of the materials used to make a tire come from, or are byproducts of the oil industry.
Okay.
So as we've seen oil prices going up dramatically to over $150 a barrel in recent months, that's had a significant impact on our cost structure in making tires.